Thanks for
The broadcast is live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Brantley Gilbert here, and as you can see, I have two very special guests. Hope this finds all of you well, guys. I do want to first and foremost apologize to everybody for those of you that are seeing me live stream in this room for the first time. Um, if it looks like I'm in some kind of just low budget, dancing club or something, or a bad limo. I'm not. Brian, this used to be the send in. This used to be the party room in my house, and we've moved into another man cave. But in the process, we bumped something, and these blue lights cut on, and I'd seem to have lost the remote. So that's why everything's blue. Ladies and gentlemen, that being said, I'd like to introduce you to two amazing men. A lot of you are going to know Brian Davis already. Richard might be new to you guys, but they are involved with something that's absolutely amazing, incredibly life-changing on both sides of this coin. And something, man, I'm proud to have you guys on here today to talk about. It's called CreatiVets. And Richard Casper, ladies and gentlemen. Richard, meet everybody.
Dude, I'm so pumped to be here. Thank you for allowing me to talk on your platform too, because I know, man, your fans over all other people, they're the ones that just get behind you, man. It's so cool. Even us just posting about it. I had your fans coming over and being like blasting our Facebook. I'm like, this is awesome.
Good folks, brother. We're extremely blessed, man. It's a hell of a family.
Awesome. Well, let me tell everyone about CreatiVets. So I myself served in the Marine Corps from 03 to 07, and previous to all that, I did not play music. I did not do art. I did not sing, play guitar, anything like that. But when I was over there in 2006, 2007 in Fallujah, my Humvee was struck by 4 separate IEDs, leaving me with a left traumatic brain injury. And then my buddy was shot and killed beside me. And so this all happened within a 4-month time frame. 3 of the IEDs were within a month and a half of each other. So right when I came home and I transitioned out of the military, I just, I thought I was okay. Honestly, I didn't have to use my brain much over in Iraq. It was just don't die. That's all I had to think about. And then when I came home and I started going to college and I started just going downhill so fast, I ended up having to do one-on-one speeches with my speech teacher in college because I couldn't get up in front of these 18, 19-year-old kids and tell my story. I felt like a piece of crap going to war, all of a sudden coming home and feeling debilitated back home. So long story short, I just found power through writing my story down. And then I really started thinking about my gunner, Luke Yepson, who was shot and killed beside me. And I said, I want people to know his story, but I'm a 6'5" combat Marine. I don't want to cry in front of people. I don't want to try to tell them his story and start bawling. I was like, what if I could have a song that when I meet people like Brian and Brantley, I could just be like, hey, you need to know Luke lives, so here's his song, and I could walk away. And so I took this journey on trying to figure out how to write my own songs and how to tell that story. My buddy Brett Gillen taught me my first few chords on the guitar, and I just went to YouTube, and man, it legitimately changed my life. Like being able to tell that story, I felt empowered to start telling it even more in person, where I stopped crying. And I was like, oh, this is weird. Same situation, but I just repurposed that memory into this song. And so I was like, I don't think other veterans know that there's power in this and telling your story. So I reached out to my buddy, Jesse Schertz, who he's missing his leg. He has burns over 60% of his body. And I was like, dude, I know you hate telling your story. I know you hate people looking at you, but if I brought you to Nashville to write with the #1 songwriter, would you tell your story then? And he's like, hell yeah, I would. I mean, this guy, he rides Harley. He's just like, he's nitty gritty. He's just freaking awesome. And he came down there and he wrote with the band called Blackjack Billy. And he was like, dude, that 3-hour writing session did more for me than the VA did in the last 6 years. And he started sending that song to everybody. Like before he said, I can't tell anybody my story. And now he's texting legitimately everybody he knows his song. It just blew me away. And I knew I was onto something. So reached out to the co-founder, Linda Tarson, and said, hey, I don't know. I'm just a dumb grunt. I don't know how to start a nonprofit, but I know I have a program in place that's going to save veterans' lives. Will you help me? And she said, yes. And so from then, that started in 2013. 104 songs later, man, we have a partner with the Grand Ole Opry. So we write backstage at the Grand Ole Opry with pro #1 songwriters. and we just got a deal with Big Machine Records to release this music so other veterans could heal from these veterans like Jesse's story. It's insane, man. I'm on cloud 9 right now.
It's awesome. Understandably, man. I tell you, it's crazy to see this because, Brian, I know even back in the day when you and I first met, some of the first experiences that we had working with vets, this was something that we talked about. We didn't really know how to make it happen, but we just always talked about how cool it would be to be able to do something like that and to bring a vet into a co-write and tell their story. I think more then, it was more about giving us insight on how to write a song that they could relate to, right? And to be more descriptive on their part. But, man, I think what you're doing is absolutely amazing. This guy over here, Mr. Brian Davis, man, just about everything he touches, I believe in. So, man, BD, it's good to see you, brother.
Likewise, man.
Much love, man. I like your Christmas lights in the back a lot better than my blue dance club lights.
Yeah, this is the girls. My girls call them fairy lights, and I'm like, they're bar lights. Leave them alone. Don't touch them. But my girls have the same ones upstairs. Just kind of, I like to call them not fairy lights. Makes it look more manly in my quote unquote man cave studio down here. So, but hey, I will say I'll add one thing to this whole deal. I've had the privilege of working with a lot of the vets that Richard works with, and he has a knack for reaching just the most at risk, man. And this process that he's kind of spearheaded and put together is going to have the ability now, along partnering with Big Machine now, to reach these vets where it counts, because a lot of these guys, man, they're in these kind of downward spirals. And so Richard was telling me this story. I'm gonna jump on and tell it for you, brother. But he said, man, the only way we can get to these guys, there's only a couple of mediums, and one is TV, one is video games, and the third is music. And he said, so having Alexa inside of their homes, and they may hear about this or see this podcast or the streaming, and then go, hey, let me just check this out, and find out that there's a whole bunch of vets out there, man, that are getting help in different types of therapy. I mean, we know how we are, man. You can't just come talk to us. We need people to understand us to talk to us, right? Same thing I've learned in this situation. Like Stu, there's a song that we have on this record called Needing Saving, and it's a true story of Stu's life from front to back. And in the process of writing this song, man, he basically just was telling a story where he was just having it out with God, man. And it grabbed me. I mean, it shook me to my core as he was telling the story, and how he went full circle from, God sending him out. He said, man, I'm not going over to fight. I'll go save lives. You want me to? I'm not going to go fight, man. So he became a medevac pilot. He was saving people left and right, man. And it was amazing hearing it go down. But in the process, man, he kind of came back to going, God, man, where were you? You're supposed to have my six, man. And now I'm back here and I can't get anything together. My kids were kids when I left, and now they're adults. I can't contact, it's just this whole crazy thing, man. So, and in the process telling that story, man, we were able to put that, really he did all the grunt work, hard work, man. We just made a few things rhyme, and man, it was, it was all him. But man, it was crazy to see that. And then now to see that song transitioning his life and then reaching out, figuring out like music does. We know that from, One Hell of an Amen, man. How many people has that song touched, and how much has that helped, and been a shoulder for some of the toughest situations that our soldiers, our military go through, and cancer patients as well, man. So it's, we both know, man, music is a powerful, powerful force. And so to see it being harnessed and moving in this direction, man, it's some fulfilling work, man, that I'm getting the privilege to be a part of right now. So, and I'm grateful.
Dude, we're grateful to have you, Brian. I mean, and the one unique thing about us too, we're not just throwing a veteran into a room with some songwriters, because as you guys know too, just from dealing with veterans, I'm not going to come up to you and just tell you the worst thing I ever did or the worst thing that's ever happened to me. It just doesn't work that way when we're talking to civilians. But what we do is we pair them with another combat vet who's been through the program. For the first 80, it was just me. Even though I'm running the organization from the highest level, making all these connections and partnerships, I wrote every song for 85 songs, because I would call each individual veteran and be like, hey, I was blown up 4 times. I have a brain injury. I'm still dealing with that. I'm dealing with the loss of my friend. Here's a song I wrote. What are you going through? And they'll tell me. They'll be like, I had to, shoot someone over there I didn't want to shoot, or I had to see this and witness it. I said, well, when you get here to Nashville, because we pay for the veterans' flight, food, housing, all three or 4 days that they're here. And I'm like, when you get off that plane, I'm going to pick you up. Like, you have a battle buddy. We're going to go listen to music, have a good time, just tell war stories. And then when we go in that writing room the next day, I'm going to be there with you. So I'm going to help you tell that story. So when you need to say those hard things, just look at me and say them. And so even with Stu's song, I mean, he had his veteran mentor that was in the room with him, that anytime he wanted to like break down or talk, he could look at. I think it was Big Mike, wasn't it? Big Mike.
Hey, one second. Big Mike, you'll love this, B. Big Mike is 6'10",
6'10".
6'10". He's in a wheelchair. When I walk in the room, I'm eye to eye with him, and that's how big this boy was, man. I'm sitting there. I'm not a small dude, and I'm sitting there almost eye to eye with him, and he's sitting in a chair, bro. I was like, whoa.
In the video we're debuting, I think it's today, the story song, which is like the lead song that we led with. In that, one of the first photos you'll see is a photo of Big Mike in his wheelchair. So make sure you look at that, because it is pretty insane. He's an amazing individual, but he's able to work with the veteran previous to just make sure, because I said, hey, this is the once in a lifetime opportunity. I don't want you leaving here and saying, I should have talked about my death of my friend. I just didn't feel comfortable, or I should have done this. I'm like, we need that song out now, because it's not only going to help you finally get it off your chest, repurpose that memory into something good, but it's going to help the other veterans know it's authentic. Like you said, Brantley, we were, as a veteran community, we're kind of tired of just patriotic songs. Like, just like, hey, you know, proud to be an American and cool. Yeah, but I want to hear about the loss, and I want to hear about the pain, and I want to feel that. And so being able to actually do that and now release it on this big of a scale, when the veterans hear these songs, whether they know about CreatiVets or not, they're going to know that there was a veteran in the room, especially with that song that you wrote, man. That is, it still brings tears to my eyes. And the girl from Forbes that wrote that article, she's just a civilian, and she was like, that was my favorite song. And I thought that was crazy, because that's the most real song out of all of them. Stories is more like it's for police officers, for first responders, it's for veterans, and it's more open to everybody. But Needs Saving, man, I mean, that's Stu's song. I mean, it even says his name in it, but it's so powerful the way that you guys wrote that, and your voice on that, man, just bringing out that passion. I just think people connect with that because it's real.
I mean, that was the goal, and I'm telling you, man, Stu, he's actually on here listening right now. So what's up, bro? Shout out to you, man. But dude, yeah, it was, and all these songs though, man, they all are representative of a guy who's going through some tough times, man. And so it's cool to again be a part of it, man. But even bigger than all that, man, is this organization and what they're able to do to reach these at risk, man. And that's, I mean, we both know, all three of us know, man. I mean, you know, they get asked to do some tough stuff over there, man. So to come back and ask to just jump back in life, man, that's not a soft landing. So finding a way to kind of help that process, you know, it's, you know, I think that's a good way to serve, you know. So.
Oh yeah, man. And when we first started this too, I thought it was just going to be a bunch of veterans like me who want to write about, you know, the loss of a friend. But after 100 songs, I feel like we almost have a song for everybody. Like for a veteran who just needs to communicate with their wife for the first time, or to their kids for the first time, or just these personal stories. I mean, we have a song, it's not on this album, but just called Blame Me, where it's a veteran legitimately just wanting the mother of this other person that was in his platoon, their death, to say like, hey, I want you to blame this for me. But it ultimately was for him to get that off his chest so everyone could uplift him, because nobody knew he felt that way. By him putting in the song, all of a sudden people understood he felt that way, and they're able to lift him up and make him understand that it wasn't his fault. And so on this album, how I kind of curated the songs, because A Big Machine was really helpful in just being like, you know, the veteran space, you put this music out, you pick the songs that are going to go on it. And so I picked a couple that are relationship songs, like to spouses, a couple that are just straight up to children or to their family, a couple that are just raw war story songs, like Stu's song, and then a couple just inspirational songs for those veterans who are really down, who need to just hear something that says like, you know, I need to be the one that picks myself back up. So I'm hoping with this first release, there's a song for a lot of people, but we're not done. I mean, like I said, we have all these songs that are on back order, and we're going to keep writing with veterans. So this is just volume 1. We plan on putting out volume 2 and volume 3 and volume 4, and just until the world knows what we're going through. And then we reach all 20 million veterans. That's when we'll slow down.
Awesome, man. That's unbelievable. And man, I'll tell you this too. I know you said you feel like you have a song for everybody. That may be the case now, but man, I tell you, as a songwriter, and Brian, you know this too. It's like it's very seldom that you find a song that hasn't been written in one way, form, or fashion. It's
Yeah.
not a different way to say it, and a different way to approach melody. And I think, man, every time you change a tiny thing about a song, you grab somebody else. It fits in somebody else's wheelhouse, and I just think that's amazing. And I want to commend you, man, because I tell you, working with vets has been a life changing thing for me, to say the least. Every time I've been able to be involved in anything to do with you guys and girls, it has literally changed my life. But man, a lot of times it can be difficult because, you know, I'm the kind of guy. One of my pet peeves, man, is that I don't like it when people say, "I know what you're going through," or "I'm going through," or I just don't like that. Even in my situation where my battle was, you know, nothing close to what you guys and girls go through. You know, mine was mainly an addiction thing, but there it was even then, man, we're all as different as our fingerprints. So no, the hell you don't know what I'm going through. You never will. And a lot of times when working with vets, man, I feel like, you know, there's only so much I could do other than listen, because I'm not going to be that. I'm never going to be able to relate in any way, form, or fashion. You know what I mean? Because it's just,
Oh yeah.
you can't level there. And you touched on it too. A lot of these guys have told me that, like, coming back and going in and speaking to a therapist and going through counseling and stuff, that even the words getting help is not comfortable to them. They're trained killers or soldiers.
Yep.
You know, they're the hardest of heart in our book. So, man, I think what you guys, this approach to me is absolutely amazing. We've always said that songwriting is the truest form of expression outside of prayer. And I know after a lot of you guys and girls go through the things you do, the last thing you want to do is pray.
Yep.
You know, but you know, music has always been something, and that has helped me express and other people express. And man, I commend both of you for what you're doing. Man, thank you so much for your sacrifice, man, and for your service. And I look forward to being a part of this as it moves down the road. And man, I can't wait to get in the room with some of you guys and girls and bring something to life and hopefully some life.
Thanks so much, man. I appreciate that so much. Voices like yours, man, that are going to send this to all the people that need to see this, the veterans who are struggling, just the people who need to understand, especially right now in this day and age. People need to hear songs like Stu's song to punch them in the face again and be like, oh, wait, the world's not that bad. Like, listen to what he just went through. Like, I'm going to step back now. So thank you again, man, for using your platform to do this. And I mean, totally look forward to you becoming a bigger part of what we're doing, since now I'm a member of the family. I did something with Mikey Life, and he was like, dude, welcome to the family. And it felt so good because, I mean, we're just a nonprofit trying to help people. And for Big Machine and you all to take us in, I mean, again, feeling like I'm getting some allergies just thinking about it. You know, my eyes are sweaty. So thank you guys so much, because this means the world to me.
I mean, you're part of a wonderful family over there, man, and they're all unbelievable people, and they're awesome at their jobs, and they will get it in front of as many people as humanly possible, in as many ears as humanly possible. And man, I can tell you, because I am a member of that family, they don't rest until they do something justice. So, man, it's an awesome place to be. The man in charge, Mr. Scott Borchetta, man, is so stoked about this. I spoke to him personally about it, and he's just really excited about what you guys are doing, and you know what it means. And this, man, it doesn't get any more real than this, any more sincere than this, to me. And I tell you, one thing I love about this also, man, is you're keeping the issue in front of people. And I know Big Machine will do a good job of that, because I've seen through the years, man, a lot of times that when we're hot in conflict with somebody, like, everybody's on the support your vets train, right? It's like you get the spotlighters. I learned that term from Justin Patterson. But you have all these people when we're in active conflict that, you know, we're in the middle of something. Everybody's on it. And then when it seems like times like, you know, from time to time when it seems like it chills out a little bit, man, the battle for you guys and girls, that can be some of the times when it's the hardest. You know, when everybody else is not looking, and you come home from all that mess. And it's, you know, so this is something I think, man, hopefully that will keep awareness right in front of people, man, and not let them sleep when you guys and girls ain't getting too sick. And I appreciate you coming to hang out today, man. Doing what you're doing, saying all the things you said. It's absolutely amazing. And again, I look forward to being more involved as this thing moves forward.
Thank you so much, man. Super pumped.
So y'all click the link in the description to listen to the new CreatiVets album, Veteran Songs. I've heard a couple. They're absolutely unbelievable. They will change your life, and these are from actual vets. These are not just, you know, people sitting in a room trying to come up with the closest thing they can to a real story. This is from the horse's mouth, so to speak. This is from the soldier's mouth, and man, I think that's that makes all the difference in the world. It makes it so special. So, guys, thank y'all, all y'all so much again. All of you that are listening and hanging out with us today, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to hang with us. All you vets out there, thank you again so much for your service. Even when that sounds empty, knowing or being told about the sacrifices you guys and girls make, from the bottom of all our hearts, thank you for your service, and I hope to see all of you soon. Man, I want to hug you boys' neck.
And love you, brother.
And we'll get to work, man. But thank y'all so much, man. I'm excited for you guys. Congratulations on this, and good moving forward, man. God bless.
Love you, dog.
Love you, brother.